This is my season 12. It's day 51 of the 100-day challenge, so over halfway on the reality challenge. And had a wonderful book signing on Thursday. Great time. Then party at Kingley. It was wonderful. And then the next day, I was in this place where I'm like, I don't know what's next. I feel like I've done everything. As you know, I want to become bestseller. I'm like, done a book signing, organized events, got out there, this and this and that. I cannot think of anything right now else to do but to let it go, switch off, and tell the universe, you know what, this is up to you now. Um, Show me the way. So I decided to go to the park and enjoy some time in nature. And as I was enjoying myself, then I received an email. I was still kind of connected, through my iPhone and looking at the emails. And I received this email from Sue Blake, that is PR here in London, and we connected. Hopefully, one day she'll become my PR. And she sent me this email connecting me with Ron Holland. Now, I didn't know anything about Ron, but because Sue, said you two should meet, then I received an email from Ron, and so I thought, well, let's meet either here. Why don't we meet today? And I was just really spontaneous because I had freed up my whole, diary. Like I didn't, because it was the next day of the book signing too. I kind of knew that I would be partying, so I didn't want to put too much on my plate. But actually, didn't party that late, so I had this open diary, and it was full of surprise. I end up meeting Ron at 5 o'clock. Ron has written 18 books and has some fantastic, amazing stories. He's all about reprogramming our mind and everything related to money and success. So it was absolutely one of those perfect time thing. And so I share with him my goal of selling 5,000 books before the end of the month. And he says, "Oh, that's not a problem, Lilou. Oh, we'll reprogram your mind, and I'll contact the media, and it's done deal." So as you can imagine, I was all excited, and I sent him my press release. But more than anything, then he said, "Well, now let me, if you have time, let me bring you to this place where I'm gonna do this talk, and you can come. And you'll meet some great people." And he was explaining to me how spontaneous he is with his life and letting his diary open because he's always in the flow and applying the law of attraction, visualizing. So for him, it's very much keeping this open space for things like this to happen. And he was so grateful to have met me, and I was so grateful to have met him. And then here I am listening to his talk. He gives me his book. I give him my book. I meet some amazing people that are in the industry, that are part of the Yes Group in London. Some people there, actually, Richard Holmes recognized me from one of my videos, YouTube videos on Oprah, like a while back ago, that he had seen. So he started looking at the book, and we just, like, all those people really into the self-development and wanting to grow. And so I feel blessed to have finally connected with the community here in London. Learned some amazing things. Got out of the way because I had a 8 p.m. radio interview with sound authors over in the US, so 3 p.m. US New York time. So I found out a solution so I could stay there for the talk, do the radio interview from upstairs, and then come back in the room, meet some more people, including the person that promotes Lean Twist and What the Bleep Do We Know back then. So he said, "Oh, I can organize a talk with 60 people over here in London, and let me help, let me promote you." And there was this buzz again around the book, and I was just so grateful to be in the flow. And sometimes I'm like, do, action, which I definitely know this is one of my big strengths, is because I do act and I do things right away if I'm inspired. But sometimes, for me, it's about just relaxing and just letting it flow. So it was a wonderful lesson, and just great synchronicity. And also Sue has recommended me to connect with Peter, who is one of the editor of Success TV. So I look forward to even more synchronicity, and I'm just so grateful, so grateful. So yeah, I'm sharing this journey, and as you might have realized, I'm writing actually book number 2 now. That is the coming from a place of having found my dream job. Now, what does it take to actually make an abundant living at it? So this is one of the reasons and the breakthrough that I want. Selling those 5,000 copies for me will represent that, including selling the book right to at least one country. So that's what I'm aiming for, and that's what I'm visualizing. I'm using Ron technique the next 3 days. I started this morning. I'm going to visualize morning and night. And if you haven't seen his little story, by the way, I'm going to put that as video response to this video, because you can't miss that. Where he actually got his whole, he had 7 motorbike stores around, I think it was in the US or in the UK, I'm not sure now. And he has this passion for motorbikes. But the thing is, as he explained, is that he didn't make the difference between cash flow and profit. So he just spend the money, and one day just didn't have any more inventories, no more bikes, and was just like no more bank wanted to give him a loan. So he started visualizing and pulling it, and for 3 days just visualized his stores packed with motorcycles, packed. And then he had this idea, eureka idea, as he liked to call them. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, of course I'm going to check the newspaper, the different ads, and then I will contact each person individually. So he did that, and then his whole store was filled up, and he made a fortune, and all 7 stores, and that was one of his very first business when he was, I think, in his early 30s. So he's written Talk and Grow Rich, and some other wonderful books to reprogram our mind. So I'm saying all this because you definitely have to check that video. And so I'm using that technique in the next 3 days to visualize those 5,000 copies coming in and attracting the thoughts, the idea, the eureka idea, to fulfill on that. So it's quite exciting, co-creator. I'll make sure I share with you the different insights. I do have a shout out that I'm going to make to the media right now in a separate video, because I get quite turned on or pissed off or passionate of the media really starting to hit some nerves and some chords inside of me, because they're very negative. And when I approach them with my positive story and book, they're not interested, or they're not responding. All what they want is negative feed, which is feeding even more fears. And enough of that. If the media is not supporting us in this economy and just acting even more on those fears, this is not going to work. So anyway, I'll do a separate video about this, I think. But I send you much love, and this is my day 51 of season 12. Bye, co-creator.